What's it like to be young, incredibly rich, and part of a legacy that's been shaping the world for centuries? How does a fortune built over generations stack up against the wealth of a self-made tech genius who becomes a billionaire before turning 30? And what if they're some of the youngest, most influential Jewish heirs and entrepreneurs on the planet? Today, we're counting down the 10 richest young Jewish people on the planet. Now, let's be clear. When we say kids, we're not talking about toddlers and tiaras. We're talking about the next generation, the young adults, the heirs and the prodigies who are now in charge of massive fortunes or have built them from scratch. We're pulling back the curtain on a world of unimaginable wealth, where old money dynasties built on real estate and industry cross paths with the disruptive force of new age tech billionaires. You'll see how fortunes rooted in 20th century grit are being handed down and reimagined for the 21st, and how today's visionaries are creating billion-dollar companies with little more than a laptop and an idea. We'll explore the families, the empires, and the individuals themselves. From the children of casino magnates and shipping tycoons to the architects of our new digital age, this list is a fascinating mix of legacy and innovation. You won't believe who's at number 1. So stick around and don't forget to subscribe for more exclusive content. Let's get started. Number 10. The Children of Mikhail Friedman. Kicking off our list at number 10 is a story that completely flips the script on what it means to be a wealthy heir. Meet the children of Mikhail Friedman, a Russian-Israeli billionaire who co-founded the Genesis Prize, often called the Jewish Nobel. Friedman's fortune, estimated to be around $13 billion, was built from the ground up in the wild world of post-Soviet Russia. He co-founded Alpha Group, a huge private conglomerate with interests in everything from oil and gas to banking. He's a giant of industry whose influence is felt across continents. His 4 children, Larissa, Katya, Alexander, and Nika, were born into a life of unbelievable privilege. They grew up with all the perks of billionaire life: elite schools, luxury homes, and access to a world most of us can only dream of. You'd think they were set to inherit a multi-billion-dollar empire, securing their spot among the world's wealthiest for generations. But here's the twist. Mikhail Friedman has publicly declared that his children will not inherit his fortune. In a shocking move, he announced his plan to donate his entire multi-billion-dollar empire to charity, leaving his children to make their own way. His reasoning is as powerful as it is unusual. He said he fears an inherited fortune would destroy his children's lives, taking away their motivation to achieve something on their own. He famously said, "I'm not going to leave them any money. My biggest dream is that my children will create something themselves." This decision puts his children in a strange position. They've had the ultimate head start, the best education, powerful connections, and a famous last name. Yet the financial safety net that usually comes with that has been yanked away on purpose. Friedman's move is a radical experiment in parenting. He's betting that the best inheritance he can give his kids isn't money, but ambition. While the geopolitical situation and sanctions on Russian oligarchs have complicated how his fortune will be distributed, Friedman's pledge remains a powerful statement. His children are heirs to a name and a legacy of business smarts, but not to the billions themselves. They are the billionaire heirs challenged to make their own way in the world. Their story isn't about the billions they will get, but about the billions they won't, and the pressure that comes with having to live up to a father who believes true wealth is earned, not given. Number 9. Jared Kushner. Coming in at number 9 is a name that's become globally recognized, not just for his family's real estate empire, but for his time in the highest levels of American politics. At 45 years old, Jared Kushner is the face of Kushner Companies, a major real estate dynasty, and has recently crossed the billion-dollar mark himself. His story is a classic example of using inherited wealth to gain new power and influence. Jared grew up in the world of high-stakes real estate. His father, Charles Kushner, built a huge portfolio of properties, making the Kushner name a force in the industry. From a young age, Jared was groomed to take over. He went to Harvard and got a dual JD MBA from NYU, all while being involved in the family business. In 2008, at just 27 years old, he was named CEO of Kushner Companies. One of his first big moves was overseeing the $1.8 billion purchase of the office building at 666 Fifth Avenue in Manhattan, a record price at the time. The deal was a bold statement of ambition. While the investment later ran into financial trouble, it showed Kushner wasn't afraid to take huge risks. But Jared's profile truly exploded after his marriage to Ivanka Trump and his role as a senior advisor in the White House. This jump from real estate mogul to political power player was smooth and strategic. He became a key figure in the administration, working on everything from Middle East peace to government reform. His work on the Abraham Accords, a series of peace agreements between Israel and several Arab nations, was a major diplomatic achievement. After Washington, Kushner didn't just go back to real estate. He launched Affinity Partners, a private equity firm, in 2021. The firm quickly raised billions, including a reported $2 billion from Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, a move that drew plenty of headlines. Through Affinity, Kushner now invests in everything from Israeli tech startups to international energy projects. As of late 2025, Jared Kushner's personal net worth is estimated to be just over $1 billion. This fortune is a mix of his stake in the family real estate holdings, his ownership of Affinity Partners, and his own investments. He represents a modern kind of dynasty where the family fortune is a launchpad for ventures in politics, diplomacy, and global finance.
Number 8, Adam Neumann. Number 8, Adam Neumann. At number 8, we have one of the most dramatic figures in the startup world. Adam Neumann, the Israeli-American entrepreneur, now 46, is the charismatic and controversial co-founder of WeWork. His story is a wild ride of a fast rise, a spectacular fall, and a surprising comeback, leaving him with a personal fortune that's still in the billions. As of 2025, his net worth is estimated to be between $1.7 and $2.3 billion. Neumann's early life was anything but ordinary. Born in Israel, he spent time on a kibbutz and served as an officer in the Israeli Navy before moving to New York. In 2010, he and Miguel McKelvey launched WeWork. The idea was simple but game-changing: turn boring office leases into cool, flexible co-working spaces. Neumann wasn't just selling desks, he was selling a lifestyle, a physical social network. His vision was magnetic. He convinced investors, most notably SoftBank, to pour billions into the company. WeWork grew at a wild pace, opening locations all over the world. Neumann talked about elevating the world's consciousness and pitched WeWork not as a real estate company, but as a world-changing tech unicorn. At its peak in 2019, WeWork was valued at an insane $47 billion, and Neumann's stake was worth over $4 billion on paper. The company was gearing up for a massive IPO. He was on top of the world. Then it all fell apart. The IPO paperwork revealed huge losses, questionable business practices, and Neumann's chaotic management style. The media turned on him, the IPO was canceled, and the company's valuation crashed. Under pressure, Neumann was forced to step down as CEO, but he walked away with a controversial exit package purportedly worth over $1 billion at the time. For most people, that would be the end, but not for Neumann. Even as WeWork filed for bankruptcy in 2023, he was planning his next move. In 2022, he launched a new real estate company called Flow, aiming to bring his community concept to apartment living. In a huge vote of confidence, the venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz invested a stunning $350 million, valuing the new company at over $1 billion before it even launched. Adam Neumann is still a billionaire. He's proof of the power of a good story and investors' willingness to bet on a founder's vision even after a massive failure. He's the self-made mogul who built an empire, watched it crumble, and is now building another from the ashes. Number 7. The children of Eyal Ofer. Now we're stepping into the world of old money dynasties. Our 7th spot goes to the children of Eyal Ofer. Eyal is an Israeli shipping and real estate tycoon based in Monaco, with a family net worth estimated at over $28 billion as of 2025, making him one of the richest people in Israel. His 4 children, David, Daniel, Jonathan, and Olivia, are the heirs to this massive fortune built on a foundation of sea and steel. The Ofer family story is one of generational wealth, started by Eyal's father, Sammy Ofer. Sammy was a shipping legend who built a global empire from nothing after moving to Israel from Romania. When he died in 2011, his huge holdings were passed down to his two sons, Eyal and Idan. Eyal took charge of the family's real estate and international shipping assets. He now runs a sprawling empire as the chairman of Ofer Global. His holdings are split into two main parts. First is the Zodiac Group, his private shipping company in London, which has a fleet of nearly 190 vessels. In an industry that's the bloodline of global trade, the Zodiac fleet is a huge player. Second is Global Holdings, the family's private real estate company. This isn't just any property firm. It owns over 120 iconic buildings worldwide, focusing on high-end commercial and residential properties. If you've ever admired 15 Central Park West in New York or the Altria building on Park Avenue, you've seen the work of Eyal Ofer's empire. The family also holds large stakes in Royal Caribbean cruises and various banks. Eyal Ofer's 4 children are being groomed to manage this vast global business. They've grown up in a world of extreme privilege in Monaco, but with that comes the huge responsibility of looking after a multi-generational legacy. The family is also deeply involved in arts philanthropy, making massive donations to museums like the Tate Modern in London and MoMA in New York. The Ofer children are heirs not just to billions of dollars, but to a business that spans continents and industries. They are the next generation of a dynasty that has mastered the tangible worlds of shipping and real estate, showing that even in an age of tech startups, there are still incredible fortunes to be made in the traditional industries that make the world go round. Number 6. The heirs of the Reuben family. At number 6, we find one of the UK's most powerful and private billionaire families. The Reuben brothers, David and Simon Reuben, were born in British India to a Baghdadi Jewish family, moved to London in the 1950s, and built a massive fortune from scrap metals and real estate. Today, their family's net worth is estimated at a stunning £26.9 billion, or roughly $33 billion, making them one of the wealthiest people in the UK. Their children, especially David's son Jamie Reuben, are the heirs to this empire. The Reuben brothers' story is a true rags-to-riches tale. They started with almost nothing. Their big break came in the 1990s, when they smartly invested in the Russian metals market, especially aluminum. Their company, Trans World Metals, became a dominant force, at one point controlling a huge chunk of the world's aluminum. It was a high-risk move that paid off big time. By the early 2000s, they had sold their Russian assets and pivoted hard into real estate, mostly in the UK. This is where their fortune really exploded. They became known for buying up landmark properties across London. Their portfolio is a dazzling collection of luxury hotels, high-end shops, and prime office buildings, including the Millbank Tower and a big part of the exclusive Burlington Arcade. But their interests go way beyond London. They own a company that operates numerous horse racing tracks and Global Switch, a major owner of data centers across Europe and Asia. This shows they know how to diversify from old-school assets into the infrastructure that makes the modern economy go round. The next generation, particularly Jamie Reuben, is becoming more public. Now in his late 30s, Jamie is deeply involved in the family business. Unlike the older generation who famously dodged the press, Jamie has a more public profile. He's a well-known figure in London and was a key player in the group that bought the Newcastle United Football Club. The Reuben heirs are set to inherit a fortune that is huge and diverse. It's a legacy built on the grit of the global metals trade and the long-term value of prime real estate. They are inheriting not just a list of assets, but a reputation for smart, quiet, and incredibly successful deal-making. We're only halfway through, and the size of these fortunes is already mind-blowing. We've seen a father who refuses to pass on his billions, and dynasties built on property and global trade. But we're about to switch gears into the world of big tech and Hollywood, where the numbers get even bigger. Who do you think will take the top spots? Before we continue, if you're enjoying this look into the world of the young and mega-rich, take a second to subscribe and hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss what's coming up.
Number 5. The children of Miriam Adelson. Entering our top 5 are the children of Dr. Miriam Adelson, the Israeli-American physician, who after the death of her husband, casino king Sheldon Adelson, now oversees a family fortune of about $32.1 billion. This makes her the richest person in Israel and one of the wealthiest women in the world. Her children are the heirs to the Las Vegas Sands casino empire, a global giant in hospitality and entertainment. Miriam Adelson's life story is incredible. Born in Tel Aviv in 1945 to parents who fled Poland before the Holocaust, she became a doctor specializing in substance abuse. Her life changed forever when she met Sheldon Adelson, a self-made billionaire from Boston who built his fortune in trade shows and, most famously, casinos. Sheldon Adelson changed the casino industry. His vision was to create integrated resorts, massive complexes with luxury hotels, convention centers, shopping, and entertainment, all anchored by a casino. His flagship properties, the Venetian and the Palazzo in Las Vegas, are iconic. But his biggest win was expanding into Asia. The Sands Empire built massively profitable resorts in Macau and Singapore, tapping into a booming market. When Sheldon died in 2021, control of this empire passed to Miriam and her family. She inherited his majority stake in Las Vegas Sands, instantly becoming one of the most powerful figures in the gaming industry. The Adelsons have also been among the biggest political donors in the U.S. for decades, primarily to the Republican Party, and are strong supporters of pro-Israel causes. Miriam continues this legacy, holding huge political influence. She is also the publisher of the newspaper Israel Hayom. Miriam has 4 children. Her son Matan Adelson is getting more involved in the family's new ventures. In a big move in late 2023, the family sold $2 billion worth of Las Vegas Sands stock to buy a majority stake in the Dallas Mavericks NBA team, pointing to a new investment direction. Matan, in his early 30s, is now the team's governor. The Adelson heirs are inheriting more than just casinos. They're inheriting a global hospitality empire and a political machine. Their fortune was built on the bright lights of Las Vegas and Macau, but it comes with a legacy of deep political and philanthropic influence. Number 4. The founders of Wiz. Breaking away from inherited wealth and rocketing into our number 4 spot are 4 of the most successful self-made entrepreneurs from Israel's legendary tech scene. Asaf Rappaport, Yinon Kostika, Ami Lutwak, and Roy Resnick are the brains behind the cloud security unicorn that took the cybersecurity world by storm. In a deal that sent shockwaves through the industry, Google agreed to acquire Wiz in March 2025 for an incredible $32 billion. This historic deal was reportedly the largest in Google's history and the biggest ever exit for an Israeli tech company. It instantly created 4 new multi-billionaires. Following the deal, each of the 4 founders now has an estimated net worth of around $2.2 billion. Their ages range from their mid-30s to early 40s, making them some of the richest young self-made people on Earth. The Wiz founder's story is a masterclass in teamwork and expertise. The 4 have been working together for decades, starting in the Israeli Defense Forces elite intelligence units, a common training ground for many of Israel's top cyber experts. They previously founded a company called Adallam, another cloud security firm, which they sold to Microsoft in 2015 for a reported $320 million. After that sale, the team stayed at Microsoft, but the entrepreneurial itch returned. In 2020, they left their comfortable corporate jobs to start Wiz. They saw a major problem in how companies were securing their data in the cloud. As businesses moved to platforms like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud, they struggled to see all the security risks in these complex systems. Wiz's genius was its speed and simplicity. They built a platform that connects to a company's entire cloud environment in minutes and creates a visual map of all security risks, prioritizing the most urgent ones. Security teams loved it. The company's growth was off the charts. In just a few years, Wiz signed on more than half of the Fortune 100 companies as clients. The $32 billion acquisition by Google is the peak of this incredible journey. It proves their vision and solidifies their status as legends. Their story is a perfect example of Israel's startup nation spirit. They are not heirs to a dynasty, they are the founders of one. Their fortune wasn't inherited, it was coded, built, and sold in less than 5 years. Number 3. David and Megan Ellison. At number 3, we're back in the world of mega inheritance, but with a Hollywood twist.
David and Megan Ellison are the children of Larry Ellison, the legendary co-founder of software giant Oracle. Larry Ellison's net worth fluctuates wildly, but as of late 2025, it's around an almost unbelievable $270 billion, placing him among the planet's top 3 richest people. While his children, David and Megan, are set to inherit only a fraction of this, as their father has pledged to give away 95% of his wealth, that fraction has already made them incredibly wealthy and 2 of the most powerful independent producers in Hollywood. Their story shows what happens when the kids of a tech titan take on Hollywood with nearly unlimited capital. Larry Ellison set up massive trusts for his children from a young age, but it was his more direct financial backing that truly launched their careers. Megan Ellison founded her production company, Annapurna Pictures, in 2011. She took a unique approach. Instead of chasing blockbusters, she became a patron for some of modern cinema's most celebrated and daring directors. She financed critically acclaimed but risky films like The Master, Zero Dark 30, and Her. In just a few years, Annapurna became a stamp of quality, earning dozens of academic award nominations. David Ellison took a more commercial path. He founded his company Skydance Media in 2010. He focused on producing big-budget, blockbuster action films. Using his father's financial backing and his own love for the genre, he co-financed some of the biggest franchises in Hollywood, including the Mission Impossible series, Top Gun Maverick, and the Star Trek reboots. Skydance has become a media powerhouse, and David is now a mogul in his own right, with his company valued in the billions. He's even reportedly in talks to acquire the media giant Paramount. Together, David and Megan Ellison represent a new kind of Hollywood power. Yes, they had a huge head start, but they've used it to build their own distinct and influential careers. While their individual net worths are estimated in the hundreds of millions, the initial funding they received from their father was in the billions. They are the heirs of a tech god who have successfully conquered the kingdom of dreams.
Number 2. The Pritzker family heirs. Our runner-up spot goes not to one person, but to the next generation of one of America's wealthiest Jewish families, the Pritzkers. With a collective family fortune estimated at over $33 billion, the Pritzker dynasty is a sprawling clan of entrepreneurs, philanthropists, and public servants. The story starts with A.N. Pritzker, the son of a Ukrainian Jewish immigrant who came to Chicago in 1881. He and his sons built the family fortune through smart investments. Their masterstroke was creating the Hyatt hotel chain. In 1957, they bought their first motel, and from that single property, they built a global hospitality empire. But they didn't stop at hotels. They also built the Marmon Group, an industrial conglomerate they later sold to Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway for $4.5 billion, and owned TransUnion Credit Bureau and the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. Unlike many wealthy families, the Pritzker fortune was split among the third generation, the 11 cousins who are now the main guardians of the legacy. And these aren't just trust fund kids. Many have used their inheritance to build their own impressive careers. Perhaps the most famous is J.B. Pritzker, who was elected governor of Illinois in 2018. His sister, Penny Pritzker, served as U.S. Secretary of Commerce under President Obama. Their brother, Anthony, and another cousin managed the Pritzker Group, a private equity and venture capital firm. Other cousins have made their mark elsewhere. Gigi Pritzker is a successful film producer, while Karen Pritzker is a journalist and philanthropist. Each of the 11 heirs is incredibly wealthy, with many of them being billionaires in their own right. The Pritzker family represents a different model of dynastic wealth. It's a decentralized empire, where the fortune was deliberately spread across a wide group of heirs, each empowered to pursue their own ambitions. They're a testament to how a family fortune, when paired with a culture of hard work and public service, can create a lasting legacy. And now, taking the number 1 spot is a man who needs no introduction. He's not an heir, he is the founder of one of the largest and most influential empires in human history. At 41 years old, Mark Zuckerberg, the co-founder of Facebook, now Meta, is one of the wealthiest people on the planet.
As of late 2025, his net worth is estimated at a staggering $264 billion. His story is the defining entrepreneurial legend of our time. From his Harvard dorm room in 2004, the 19-year-old launched the Facebook to connect college students. The platform's growth was explosive. By 2012, it had hit 1 billion users. Today, Meta's apps, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp are used by nearly half the planet's population. Zuckerberg didn't just build a company, he built the social infrastructure of the digital age, changing how we communicate, consume news, and even how society functions. Zuckerberg's genius lies in his strategic vision. In 2012, he snapped up Instagram for $1 billion, a price that seemed insane at the time, but is now seen as one of the best deals in corporate history. 2 years later, he bought WhatsApp for $19 billion, securing Meta's dominance in mobile communication. His fortune is almost entirely self-made and tied to his Meta stock. He wasn't born into wealth. His father was a dentist and his mother a psychiatrist. Raised in a Reformed Jewish household, he is identified as an atheist or agnostic for much of his adult life, though he is often included in lists of influential Jewish figures. In recent years, Zuckerberg has bet the entire company on the metaverse, investing tens of billions into reality labs to develop virtual and augmented reality. It's a massive gamble on the future of human interaction. At the same time, Meta has become a leader in artificial intelligence. In 2015, Zuckerberg and his wife, Dr. Priscilla Chan, launched the Chan-Zuckerberg Initiative, pledging to donate 99% of their Meta shares over their lifetimes to fund it. This represents one of the largest philanthropic pledges in history. Mark Zuckerberg is the ultimate self-made tech prodigy. He built a global empire before he turned 30 and is now trying to build its successor. He is a figure of immense power, and his children are the heirs to this unprecedented 21st century fortune. And there you have it, a journey through a world of unbelievable wealth, from self-made tech titans to the guardians of multi-generational fortunes. Our countdown reveals a fascinating landscape. We've seen the stunning success of the Wiz founders, who built a $32 billion company in just a few years. We witnessed the lasting power of dynasties like the Pritzkers, Rubins, and Ophers, whose empires in real estate and industry are the bedrock of the global economy. And of course, we have Mark Zuckerberg, a man whose wealth and influence are on a scale that's hard to wrap your head around. The list highlights a clear trend: the clash between inherited and created wealth. While old money heirs still hold immense power, new money tech entrepreneurs are creating fortunes at a speed and scale never before seen. It's a world where a brilliant idea and some coding skills can build an empire to rival those built over a century. Who on this list inspired you the most? Was it the radical philanthropy of Mikhail Friedman, the Hollywood ambition of the Ellisons, or the sheer force of the Wiz team? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this look into the world of the young and super rich, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Thanks for watching.